All right, so here we are, morning. Good morning. I'm having my coffee. I don't drink coffee every day, but today I freaking need it because my head is messed up for some reason. So I'm sitting here watching Dune, sci-fi channel version of Dune. And I don't know, it's got some cool moments to it, but not everything about it is any kind of good. I mean, well, anyway, sorry, I just got lost reading something here. Something about, oh, I don't have permission. Okay, well, who the fuck cares then, man?
This Popeye's chicken sandwich gets so crunchy, juicy, and tasty. We make everything with love. Get it today. Make your taste buds dance.
Keep thinking someone's popping into the stream here, but they're not. They're just getting on my goddamn Discord, which I don't really know how to use yet. But what are you gonna do, man? Oh, here we go. Hmm. Just looking at some of the drama that's going on here, always with Connie on this shit. But if you don't know who Connie is, then I'm not gonna get into it. Unless you ask me. Anyway, so nobody's here, and I didn't expect anyone to be here, so that's fine. Just have another cigarette and fucking sit here drinking Dunkin' Donuts. Funkin' go nuts. Oh, I already drank the coffee, so see, it's empty. Empty. We'll probably get a hit for showing a logo or something. Anyway. Oh fuck, it's already 11:20 or 11:30 or 9:30, 10:30, depending where you is. All right, so I'm sitting here watching Dune on the Sci-Fi Channel. I just wish somebody would show up to this stream so I could have something to talk about. Or anyway, back to watching Dune until I see somebody's here. I'm in a rush. This is the third movie of the Sci-Fi Channel's version of it. I guess the first Dune movie was in 3 parts, and then they did something called Children of Dune, which was really just the second book, Dune Messiah. So that's why I don't know. It was a low budget version. They did 3 movies of the first book, and then 1 movie of the second one. I believe it was 1 movie. I didn't check. Maybe I should check that. So I'm watching this, and it's not good, but it's not bad either. You know, it's just right there. It's like kind of what a good attempt at doing the book would be. But I don't know. It just I just saw the number 444, which is supposed to be a sign that you're headed on the right path. So we'll see if this is the right path for me. I don't know. I've never done this before on here. I actually used to have like 36 or 40 followers on LiveLeak that would show up every day to my stream, and people from Denmark, China, Spain, Americans living in Spain. It was just weird, man. People from all over, Boston, Texas, California, and they would come every day to my stream, and we would do some crazy stuff. Like we all used to go to each other's streams. So there was this one woman who she would stream for hours at a time, like 15 hours at a time, drinking the whole time, and then she would go to her regular job. But she would have a Pictionary game, and we would play Pictionary online, and we would all drink together and laugh our asses off. It was a good time. And unfortunately, LiveLeak went under the waves and no longer was there anymore. I believe the owner sold it to somebody. And I used to be on the owner's show. He would have a live show every Thursday at 5 o'clock. No, I think it was at 7 o'clock my time, but we would go to that show, and you would get to be on screen with him, and it was kind of like a Zoom call almost. We would get in together, and everybody, one at a time would get in and talk to the owner. But my stream wasn't that special, but yet people would show up to it, and it was just a good example of how you can stream about absolutely nothing and somebody will show up. There's one guy I saw on YouTube. I'm subscribed to him. He smokes a pipe every day, just has one pipe every day, I suppose, and he's got hundreds of followers show up every day to his stream. It's amazing. He just sits outside, smokes the pipe, and talks to his chat. I would like something similar to that. I mean, I wouldn't mind just being able to come in here and talk to you people, have you call in or whatever. I'm very open minded to all that. I want to talk about whatever you want to talk about, as long as it's not sports. So, because I don't know shit about sports really, and I don't care about it. To me, it seems foolish to have a team that you root for because they're going to win, they're going to lose, they're going to win, they're going to lose, and it's a never ending cycle of that. And nothing gets proven, or I don't know. It just seems pointless to me, but what are you going to do? So, anyway, this Dune movie, I don't know. They did a good job with the eyes. I'm talking about the Sci-Fi Channel version of Dune. They did a real good job with the eyes on this one. The problem I notice in some of the movies is that they don't do the eyes all the time. Like the 1984 version or 1985, whatever it was, they didn't do the eyes consistently through the whole movie. And then the newest Dune movie, also, I noticed a couple inconsistencies with the blue eyes. The Fremen blue eyes. But I get, I say it's to be expected, but really it shouldn't be. If the Sci-Fi Channel can get it right, why the hell can't these big movie makers, these high budgets, computer generated sci-fi monsters that we have today? But anyway, one thing that I thought was cooler about this version on Sci-Fi Channel so far is that they make Paul Muad'Dib, Paul Atreides, they make him kind of a tough guy in this one. He he says to this guy from the guild is talking to him and telling him how he's protected and shit, and Muad'Dib looks at him, Paul looks at him, and he just goes, "Be quiet." That's the kind of shit they should have put in the new movie. I mean, they did a little bit when Paul yells "silence" at the Reverend Mother. That was a great moment, but needed more like that. They needed more showing him using his powers, maybe a little bit more of him showing his ability to see into the future and the past. I know that's probably really hard to translate onto the screen, but there's ways of explaining things. I've seen people do a damn good job at explaining some very hard to explain concepts on film. So I don't think there's an excuse for it. I just think it's maybe the talent that is producing the movie. You need some damn good writers, and you got to pay them if you want them. Maybe they're not even available. Maybe they're doing other projects. There's so many rip-offs of science fiction things. For example, when I was like 12 years ago, I read these books by Michael Moorcock. Funny name, I know, but it was the Elric of Melniboné saga, and it's about this albino who, he's an albino sorcerer emperor from an older race, and he eventually comes into possession of this black sword that is alive. In a way, it's sentient. It has, thought, and the sword will howl, and it will sometimes emit a black radiance. And whatever he cuts with this sword, it sucks the soul out of whatever he kills, and gives him the strength, because albinos in general are kind of frail and weak. So he he has been copied so many times in science fiction. That character, for example, if you look at Hellboy, the second Hellboy movie, you'll see these white looking elves, they're so pale, they're practically albino with the long white hair. That's Elric of Melniboné. They ripped it off so much that I think it would be kind of hard to make a movie about him now without people saying, "Oh, this is a rip off of Hellboy," or "This is a rip off of the 1976 or 77, whatever year it was, movie Fire and Ice by Ralph Bakshi." It was an animated movie, but it was what they call rotoscoped. So they filmed the actors live action and then they animated over them. And it was a pretty good, you know, little animated movie for the time. We didn't have many of those, especially American made. So they made that movie, and of course in that movie as well, there's someone who looks just like Elric. He's got a black sword in it. He's got the white pale skin. He's skinny as hell. He looks like an albino, and his name is Necron in that movie. And then they copied like a Conan character also by the name of Darkwolf. He kind of resembled Conan the Barbarian, and he was actually drawn in part by Frank Frazetta. Now, if you know who Frank Frazetta is, he was an artist that drew album covers for things like, he didn't draw album covers. They used his art on album covers, like Molly Hatchet, the band from the 70s, 80s, Molly Hatchet. Several of their album covers were drawn by Frank Frazetta. But Frank Frazetta was a fantasy artist, fantasy adventure artist, and they used his artwork on the Conan book covers. They used his artwork on calendars. It was everywhere. If you saw a Frank Frazetta painting, you knew it because he had this distinct style that was just very, very unique and amazing. But anyway, I just went off on a tangent there. So I'm watching Dune from the Sci-Fi Channel, and I know this is pretty old, and it's pretty weak. Like the sets are fucking terrible. The costumes are absolutely stupid. I mean, I don't want to say what I want to say here, but they look wrong. They look like something that somebody just threw together from like a dollar store's materials and tried to make it look weird. Doesn't make sense to me, really. But low budget. So what are you going to do? I mean, I guess they did a good job for whatever the Sci-Fi Channel's budget was at the time. And like I said, this is older, so they probably didn't have that much of a budget. Not like they do now. I mean, Sci-Fi Channel has exceeded all these years, so that's cool. But because I mean, I don't really watch a lot of TV. There's only 4 channels that I watch. I'll look at FX. I'll look at AMC, and I'll look at Sci-Fi Channel. And if there's nothing good on any of those, then what's the freaking point? Just go watch something else on the internet or get on YouTube and start streaming like I'm doing right now. Because I'm bored right now. I got to bring someone to the doctor later today, so my whole day is shot. I can't go anywhere and do what I got to do. so I might as well sit here and just bullshit. And if anybody wants to get on here, I've never had a real person call in, so I put the link right under my shirt there. And if you want to pop in and talk maybe about anything, I don't give a shit. I know something about everything except sports and maybe advanced mathematics. But you want to talk about something? Let's go, because I'm here and I'm bored. I mean, all I got to watch is this shitty Sci-Fi Channel version of Dune. Yeah, I don't know. The second Dune movie, the new one, with Denis Villeneuve's version and what's his name, Timothy Chalamet. I liked it, but I thought that they just glossed over a lot of things that you would only know if you had read the books. Like, for example, they showed the Harkonnen raids. You know, they're raiding the spice fields and everything, and that was pretty cool. But I just felt like they could have shown a little bit more of Paul being like a badass. You know, they kind of show that in this version here, the sci-fi version, but you know, Paul didn't rise to become the head of the Fremen just because. I mean, there was a reason for it, and it's because he was somewhat of a badass. You know, I mean, he could use the voice just like his mother. He could just yell at somebody and make them do something. You know, with the voice, and he didn't use it a lot in the books, which is something that you know, it would make it hard to show on the screen. But they take so many liberties with books when they translate them to movies that why couldn't you just throw a couple instances of him using the voice in there, you know, and yelling at somebody and just, you know, being barking an order like, you know, and then I don't know. Maybe I'm not the best person to talk about this since I have no movie making experience, but I just felt like the second movie was kind of anticlimactic when at the end, you know. He has his little fight with Feyd-Rautha, and then Christopher Walken's role was just very unimpressive, I guess. I mean, he sat there and he just stared at Paul. Like that was his thing, was him just balefully staring at Paul. There wasn't much discourse. There was, you know, I don't know. They didn't really. I think they were trying to appeal to the people who know what the hell's going on from reading the books. But if you don't know the books, then you're kind of lost a little bit. Like, for example, he takes the Empress Irulan, not the Empress, the Emperor's daughter, Princess Irulan. He takes her hand in marriage, and you know, to seal his position as the new emperor. And and then, you know, they show Chani looking all pissed off and disappointed, and then she goes into the desert and takes off, you know, having a fit, having a hissy fit. But in the books, you know, the truth was that Paul did do that, but Chani didn't get all pissy about it because she knew that she was Paul's real wife in reality. Princess Irulan was just a marriage of convenience. It was just something that, you know, he had to do for political reasons to cement his position as the emperor of the universe. You know, now that he had just deposed Shaddam IV by killing his champion Feyd-Rautha. You know, Feyd-Rautha fought on behalf of the Harkonnen and the Emperor because Feyd-Rautha thought he was going to become the Emperor at some point, and that didn't work out so well for him. You don't go against a guy who knows the future and has the memories of thousands of people from the past. You don't fuck with a guy like that because he's going to know ahead of time what's going to happen, and he knows the one thing out of all the possible futures. He knows the one thing that he's got to do to cement, you know, that reality. I don't know. Dune books are pretty cool, but like I was saying, how they change things in the movies, like even the Lord of the Rings. Well, they took a lot of liberties with that, and there were some things I didn't like about that. For example, in the Two Towers, they have the warg riders. A warg was supposed to be like basically like a dire wolf or something, just a big ass wolf, big enough for an orc to ride. And that was the whole thing. They would ride these wolves around, and the wolves would attack. And the way they made the wargs look in Lord of the Rings, it just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of didn't look so great. They look like dogs with the faces of bats, and that didn't strike any fear into me. It didn't make them look vicious. It made them look almost disabled or something, like something happened to their faces. They got hit with a frying pan. I don't know. But yeah, what else? Then they, unfortunately, too late for them, when the Hobbit movies came out, Peter Jackson's version of the Hobbit, the wolves looked great. At least they looked more like wolves, and the wargs, I should say. They looked like wolves, and they looked vicious. They had the teeth, they had the vicious look, that snarl. But I don't know what to tell you. I mean, they fucked up those Hobbit movies. They dragged them out, first of all. They dragged the whole movie out for 3 2-hour-long movies. If they had done that with the Lord of the Rings, if they had made like 1, 2, 3, if they had made like 6 Lord of the Rings movies, they could have done the entire book probably word for word, or at least they could have done it more in depth enough to show the story and to show the inner workings of the characters' minds, maybe, explain things in depth like Tolkien did. Just make it a deep, rich experience like reading the books is. If they had done something like that, and but they didn't know at the time that the movies were going to be so successful. I guess these movie executives, they underestimate the fact that people actually enjoy these books. And I believe the Lord of the Rings, I don't know if it was the first or the I don't know if it was selling more copies than the Bible, or if it was just under the Bible in selling the most copies worldwide of any book, any set of books. Because the Lord of the Rings, even though it's one story, it is divided into 3 books. We all know that. So, but I don't know. Not even one person comes in here and comments, huh? Or did they? And I just don't see it because I'm stupid. Possible I may be stupid, so. Huh. Anyway. I've been doing this for 23 minutes now, and I know I'm going to hit a button to screw it up if I try touching stuff here, so. I could use a drink. Almost noon. Anyway, so far so good. I think I had 2 people come in and check me out, and they didn't like it because I'm talking about shit that they're not interested in. I know, but if somebody came in here and left a comment about something to talk about, I'll talk about it, man. And I don't, you don't care what I have to say. I know, and I just want to. I don't know what I want, man. I just want somebody to make a comment, maybe, so I know that you're here, or that you want to talk about something. Because I'm here spouting off to a camera alone, Anyway, I'm gonna go back to watching Dune, I guess. And if somebody pops in, I'll stop. Because I got to do something while I'm sitting here alone.
Never sees the edge of the cliff until it's too late.
They don't see any cliffs. You don't allow them to.
Uh-oh, my battery is getting low.
Religion.
Okay.
Nothing about religion is simple.
Isn't it a little late to be worrying about that?
We did. I did. what I had to do to ensure our survival.
You used them.
Yes. So have you.
No. I'm fulfilling the role destiny has chosen for me.
You sound like you're starting to believe the legends about you.
Like the Kwisatz Haderach?
Kwisatz Haderach.
What do you know about that?
What you knew about that?
Mother Marlowe called me that. She
Mother,
used the bar before she died.
Mother Ramallah. Do you remember that broad? Mother Ramallah. God, I
I
need
was
glasses.
supposed to have a daughter. One that could be wed to the falcon and heir. Way to end the feud and possibly produce.
One who can be many places at once.
The ultimate achievement of the century has been desperately. I didn't want to create a god.
And you don't believe it's true.
I'm your mother, Paul. I know who you are.
Do you?
Reverend Mother, can I bring you anything, some food, perhaps?
Yes, thank you. And then I'd like to see Gurney.
You forgot the.
He must find a way not to lose Stilgar. Harmosium.
To escape, say, witch?
Do it.
I'm your confessor. Here, Tom. Burden your black conscience of guilt. Right, and you
What the hell is going on with this shit? Bad fucking.
Mother, Paul. I know who you are.
Do you?
Forgive me, Reverend Mother. Can I bring you anything, some food, perhaps?
Yes, thank you. And then I'd like to see Gurney. He must find a way not to lose Stilgar.
to escape, say, witch? I'm your confessor. Here to unburden your black conscience of guilt. I sent you into eternity. Gurney! I must step my lord and I'll finish it right now.
You better explain yourself, Gurney.
I'll explain, all right. Today the house betrayed his spell. That's why I know. Kill the one who betrayed your father.
Couldn't be more wrong.
Do not speak,
Gurney,
and we are, my lord.
am I capable of lying to you?
Never have, my lord.
The traitor was Huey, Gurney. We have the confession in his own hand. As soon as you release my mother, you can read it for yourself.
In the eye. It wasn't she. No.
I would have given my life to save him. He died in my heart.
It was Huey. Dr. Huey.
His wife.
They had his wife.
My God. What have I done?
Fucking internet, man. Why is it always going in and out and whatnot?
He's still Gurney. It's over now.
I didn't see it coming.
You need to rest, Morty.
I didn't know he would threaten her. I never saw it. He could have killed her.
Could've killed her.
Can't go on.
Can't go on.
You are asking too much of yourself.
You're asking too much of yourself.
I want you to take Reno to Southern Siege.
Oh, here we go.
I want you to stay.
This is what happens when you pay a lot of money for internet and it doesn't work. Jesus Christ. Maybe it's the fucking the server that it's coming from. I don't know, but. Yeah. They did a good job on the eyes, though, on this one. Except, why doesn't he have blue eyes now and she does? And now he has, I don't know what they did. This is inconsistent, just like all of them. Every goddamn Dune movie fucks up a little bit with the eyes. They don't get the eyes quite right at all times. Or in my opinion, they're not blue enough. Sci-Fi Channel got it right with the blue eyes. They made them very blue. Blue within blue. They almost glow, but I think they did it by shining some kind of weird light on them, like a black light or something. Doesn't look like contact lenses at all. But here, let's try this. I want to see if I can get just anybody in here. I think that we had 2 people earlier, but I don't know who they were, and they didn't even say anything, so maybe they were bored shitless. How do I do this? Gmail it to yourself. That's how you do it. Dummy. Here, watch this. Watch this shit. Okay, so now I'm gonna see if I can get anyone to come in here. Oh, what the fuck? What the son of a bitch? What happened? Let's try that again then. I don't understand. Well, that didn't work. See, I thought I was doing good, but I'm a no, I'm not gonna say it. I don't know. So, where is it? Huh? Okay, this doesn't make any sense to me. Wow. Why didn't that work? I don't give a shit. I'll do it myself. See, I'll just, ooh, wait a minute. Where did that come from? Holy shit. Oh, man. All right. Let me try this another. Why didn't that work? Let me check again. Maybe there was some kind of delay. I don't know. That's fucking bullshit. I gotta stop swearing so much. What does this do? Oh, okay. That's pretty good. Okay, let's try this. No, you can't do it that way. This time, but it better work this time. Mhm. This is not funny. Not fun. It's not fun. Oh, now it shows up. Okay. I don't know why there was such a delay. Something's screwy with my internet today. Oh, live remix beatbox is live. Holy cow. Who cares? No one cares about me. Why should I care about that? Right? The dog eat dog world on these internet screens, these YouTube screens. You know what? It might be better if I just did the YouTube channel, right? You gotta think before you act here. So it should be right here. Is it? Yes, it is. All right. That's a good sign. So let's put this here. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Man. I really don't want to start it. It's gonna echo. But yeah, copy this. Okay, now we're in business. Now I don't have to do all this shit anymore. Oh, it didn't even post my goddamn message. I'm learning a lot today. Anyway, so if anyone wants to call in and talk about anything or chat, put something in the chat, I'll talk about it. What I was talking about earlier is Dune, not the new movie. Well, yes, I was talking about the new movies too. I was comparing it to what I'm watching right now, which is the Sci-Fi Channel version of Dune. They made 3 movies out of it, and I'm on the 3rd movie right now. I'm halfway through the 3rd movie, and I think they did a pretty good job on it, But they did a good job of making Paul look like a badass. They kind of made him look like a tough guy, and they did that in the new movies too. Although they didn't show it as much, like in the in his coming of age, let's say, process. Like when he becomes the Kwisatz Haderach and he becomes the leader of the Fremen. It's a big deal, like because he earned it. He didn't just show up in the like in the movies, and they kind of they think he's the one. They think he's the one, so they make him this great guy. No, he earned his shit by going out and fighting the Harkonnen with them and killing a lot of people and showing his fighting skills. Something that always strikes me as funny about the original Dune movie from 1984 is like everybody loves the killing word and the weirding modules that they use, and they go, what? And it blows up a stone block and all that bullshit. That didn't happen in the books. And I had a close friend recently say that, oh, yeah, he read the book apparently, but a long time ago. But he was remarking about how cool the killing word was from the book. And I was like, it wasn't in the book, bro. Good thing they didn't put it in the new movies because that would have been stupid to do. It's like taking a book and then making a movie out of the book and then making a movie out of a movie based on the book. You should never do that shit. That's kind of what Peter Jackson did with The Lord of the Rings, because back in 1976, I believe, they did an animated Lord of the Rings movie. Ralph Bakshi did it, and they animated over live actors which is called rotoscoping. I don't know if he invented it, but he brought it to the forefront so that everyone saw it. Everyone back in the 70s, everyone was a Lord of the Rings fan, Frodo and this and that, 60s and 70s. So they made the animated movie, and Peter Jackson stole a scene from the animated movie that never happened in the books. He copied the Ralph Bakshi movie. There's a scene when they go to the inn at Bree. The hobbits go there and they meet Aragorn at the inn. And Aragorn takes them to a little private room, their own little hobbit room. And they're all sitting by the fire, and he tells them about the ring wraiths. And then the ring wraiths late at night come in, and it shows them slashing up the beds that the hobbits are supposedly sleeping in, right? Well, that never happened in the books. The ring wraiths never got into Bree, as far as I know. The ring wraiths went, and they went around the Shire asking for Baggins and all that business. That actually happened. They even went up to the old gaffer, Samwise Gamgee's father, and they questioned him a little bit in the books, if I'm not mistaken. But they never went into Bree directly, and they never got into the Prancing Pony. Ringwraiths would not go into a place of such light and fire with so many people in there. They just wouldn't. They're not that bold. They wouldn't just walk into a goddamn inn full of people. I mean, that's like, what do you think? You're gonna walk into Target and see a ringwraith just walking around and shit? No. But Peter Jackson, I don't really know what to say about his version, because it's, like I said, it's a copy of a copy of a book. The book was legit, obviously. I mean, there's nothing better than the book. And then you make a movie out of it. Okay, take your creative license here and there, but don't copy a copy of a book. He did it, and I know it adds action to the film. You got to add some kind of action, because nobody wants to go see a boring ass movie where all people do is talk all day, right? Unless you're into that shit, like some kind of movie about a divorce or something. I don't know. I'm not into that. But it's not like a Hallmark movie. When you talk about the Lord of the Rings, you're talking about an epic series of books that starts out very lighthearted in the Shire, and Bilbo's birthday party, everything's kind of fun, and okay, whatever, everything's innocent, and then slowly you see how the innocence of the hobbits gets stripped away as the book gets slowly darker and darker as they head towards Mordor and get ever closer. The closer they get to Mordor, the more serious the tone of the books becomes. And it's like, you can see when you get to the end, the Return of the King, how the language has changed. Everybody is speaking high language now. Like my father said before he passed, I had him read The Lord of the Rings, and he said, when he got to the Return of the King, he said, it's like reading Shakespeare. And it's funny because he used to give me shit about it. I think he thought I was like gay or something because I read these fantasy books, He didn't understand that these fantasy books were all about people cutting heads off and arms off and, fighting and battles and wizardry, dark sorcery, things that make you get creeped out a little if you believe in it, which when I was 12, I didn't believe in it, but I thought it was cool as hell, so it gave you like the hair on your neck stands up a little bit, so you get like that feeling of, ooh, that's cool sorcery, but I don't know where I was going with that. I just fucking lost my train of thought here. That's why I need somebody to comment, because I'm just going to sit here and talk about Dune and the Lord of the Rings all day. If you give me a topic, maybe I could, we could chat or something like that. But I don't know what else to talk about that's interesting. Not much. I have a lot to say, but only when other people get me going. Also, I can't keep this cigarette lit for some reason this morning. Maybe I'm talking more than I normally do. 'Cause I'm usually kind of quiet. I sit here and in my four-cornered room. Anybody who's a war band, you know the band War, Cisco Kid, all that, they do a song called Four Cornered Room. And yeah, it's like basically about my situation. I'm sitting here in my four-cornered room streaming, waiting for somebody to put a goddamn comment in the chat. Even if you hate my ass, just say something. Come on now. Don't be shy. I'm gonna watch this movie later today. Terrence Howard is in it. It's called Hustle and Flow. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that, but I saw it once before and I was really, I don't know, I was in an accepting mood that day where I thought it was a good movie. We'll see. I mean, I'm gonna watch it again today. I don't remember shit about it except that he was a musician, and from the title and from some vague image in the back of my mind, I think it has something to do with drugs because he's saying, because the name is Hustle and Flow. So if he's a musician, that's where the flow is, and the hustle, I imagine, is something to do with drugs or some kind of shady business, you know. So we'll see what goes on with that movie later. But y'all heard about what Terrence Howard has been saying and shit? He's got this crazy ass math: 1 times 1 equals 2. You know, if you want to be a philosopher, but don't get involved with proven, tried and true scientific principles that have been, you know, analyzed and studied and legitimized over centuries of research. And you're just going to come out here because you were a goddamn actor, you were in a couple cool movies. Oh, I was in Iron Man, one of the Iron Man movies for like 10 seconds. And now you're going to come out here and try to tell all of us how things are because you're this fucking genius, right? You're this big genius that had a couple movie roles. Don't get me wrong, I thought he was a good actor. When I saw him in that Hustle and Flow movie the first time, something about it caught my eye, and I thought, okay, this guy's a decent actor. You know, this is a good movie. So I'm gonna see if I still like it when I watch it again today, because I'm not like a lot of people where I remember everything that I see. You know, I remember everything, but not everything I see when it comes to movies and stories. Generally, a lot of movies bore the shit out of me because I can guess what's going to happen. You know, I love a movie where I'm thrown, where I'm like, I didn't know that was the bad guy. I didn't see that coming, you know, because they always do these little movie tricks like foreshadowing. They'll mention something that's just so off, so odd to mention. And you're like, why did they mention, you know, like a frying pan just now? Like, what's up with that? Why did they mention a frying pan? And then, you know, you wait like 25, 30 minutes, and then the frying pan comes up and they smash someone in the head with it, you know. Things like that. They make it so easy to predict what they're going to do. A movie that I saw, which was a real low budget movie, and yet it had some excellent effects in it. And I guarantee you've never heard of this movie. It's called Ink. INK. I found it on some, you know, streaming site where you get movies for free and all that, and it was good. It was dark. I like movies that are dark, but not stupid dark. Like, you know, Sci-Fi Channel does a lot of things that are stupid dark, you know, and sometimes they mix a lot of comedy with it, so it lightens it up so that the general public doesn't get scared and freaked out and not watch the channel anymore. But yeah, this movie was dark. It was. I'll tell you. Well, I don't want to tell you what it's about in case you go watch it, but I'll just mention this. It has to do with hidden forces of, let's say, the afterlife. You know, things that go on in the world all around us that we can't see, but that have some sort of influence on us. It was a deep, deep movie. I mean, if you liked The Matrix, you're probably gonna like Ink because it just, I don't know, it had this mystery about it, and it was cool. I thought it was pretty cool. And for the low budget that movie was on, it was decent special effects, you know. Pretty goddamn decent. Anyway, I wish somebody would just make a comment because my phone's about to die here. So I'm going to be cutting off pretty soon. I appreciate the one person that it says is on here. Whoever you are, I appreciate you for coming because I'll be honest, not many people do. I just started streaming a couple days ago, and obviously no one knows or cares, so that's cool with me. But to whoever's watching, I do appreciate you. Thank you. I just can't stay on much longer because now my phone is at 4% and it's dropping like an I don't know what. I didn't have a good metaphor for that. I don't know. I keep talking about science fiction here and movies and stuff, but if that's not your thing, let me know in the chat because I'll talk about whatever you want me to, except sports. I don't know shit about sports. I don't care about it. Like I said, I think it's pointless. When I was a kid, I was raised in the martial arts from 6 years old, so sports to me was irrelevant. I was practicing for war, something that, in my opinion, was real. You know, you live or die in war. That's the real sport. That's what sports is based on, is war. You know, what is the point of football? You have to take territory. You have to gain yards. You have to gain ground against the enemy. And usually you would do that by smashing his head in with a goddamn, you know, hammer or mace or something or sword, whatever. But people think like, oh, the swords that the knights in armor, you know, in England used to use were sharp. Hell no. It was a goddamn bludgeon. Those swords were not sharp. And why should they be? Because if all you're doing is banging them against somebody else's armor, what's the point of it? You know, you're not going to cut them. And if the blade was sharp and it's banging on the hard armor like that, hard steel armor, you're just going to dull your blade as fast as you can. You might as well go up to a stone wall and just start whacking the shit out of that wall with that blade, you know, because you're going to ruin it immediately. So, you know, that's a myth, but people would, oh boy, I'm at 1%. I'm going to have to cut this off. I'm sorry. But whoever was watching, thank you for that. And I'm out. I'll come back when I can.